Can I tell a story right now?
Yeah.
Where?
It's recording. Don't move me. It's bouncing. Don't bounce, please.
How am I going to talk? Right here? Right here now?
Yeah.
Okay, people, I'm friends. Today is a special night. The moon is red today.
Yeah.
Because it just changes in a special night, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And that's what it just does. Oh, and it's also getting cold out here. Ooh. Like the stars are so beautiful today with the moon.
I don't know how this camera can zoom in like this, considering how far away it is.
Wait, now, look! That's the brightest star in the whole wide world.
Yeah, well, we'll do that another night. Just straining my neck here.
Times are getting icy out here. Oh. I think, what star is the brightest now, actually? Is it the North Star that's bright?
Hold on.
Gaia! What are you doing?
Oh. So now we're gonna upload 2 separate videos here, people. This is what people look like in public. Everybody's running around with their cell phone, taking video from over there to here and from over here to there. Seriously, I don't have a cell phone. So when you don't walk around with a cell phone, right, you notice these things. So this is what people are doing. They're between themselves. Just imagine another person there standing there, and I'm standing here with my cell phone, and everybody's got their cell phone pointed at each other, arguing. Anyway, I think this camera is recording. I think you can see this. We're in the war room. When you're in the war room, people, what do? I'm going to put this over here. Today is January. I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to have this one on me here for now. That I can see myself there. So I'm going to upload this one, and I'm going to try and upload this one, because this is my son's camera, right? And the only problem is I can't see what it's recording, even if it's recording. I'm thinking it's recording, but I can't even find a little mirror, people. I don't have a little mirror handy anywhere in this house where I can just simply go get it, put it behind there so I can see what it's recording. That's why I've got this one on, because if I'm wasting my time and this doesn't record and I can't get it onto my computer and convert it over and upload it, I've got this one. Right? So it's January, I think it's the 22nd, 2019. It's either the 21st or the 22nd, 2019. 21st, it's the 21st because it's the blood moon. So I've got the blood moon on this camera because I tried to take a video of it, right, last night. It's amazing how this little camera could zoom up so far. I should have had a tripod, but besides that point. So anyway, okay. So when you go to war, right, people, this is what you do. You have to gather up your weapons, okay? These are my weapons. And we're going to talk about that right now. I'm going to turn this way, just kind of guesstimate that lens on here so you can see a little bit. Okay. Again, I need a mirror back there so I can judge where I'm at with this. Okay, this one right here. Okay, so now I'm back. Turn this thing on. Alright. And then, I guess, push. Record. Oh, I see. I wasn't too sure how to make this thing move. So now that one should be recording. Bring it it up on an angle here. Oh, I think I'm short on a book. See? Short on a book. Oh, I don't know, people. Oh, short on 2 books. See, that one's flashing. I think this one's just a little too low. I'm assuming it's still working, but I don't have a glass behind it. So a mirror. I have to go hunt for a little mirror. I think I know where there's one in my room. It's a round one. It's sitting on something, but I never really look in the mirror, people. I never have time. All right. Not that I could see too much in it anyway, but besides that point, if I had a little mirror behind it, I'd be able to tell if this one over here was recording. So anyway, Amari was having a nap and he woke up. That's what happened. So I went and I changed him and I fed him and I burped him, and now he's sitting up and playing, right? So, as I was saying, which at this point I don't really remember, this one's supposed to be recording me as I'm talking into this one. Instead of me talking into this one and this one recording me. Because we want to see this one. Because this one will have better resolution. It won't be flashing. Okay. So anyway. As you can see, got them up. 2 of them. This is a health status. It says John right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it says John right here. Brain scooped out. Because that's what happened, people. In a figurative sense. Not in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense. No memory of immediate family. Because something was done to him. More than likely shock therapy. He went to the Victoria General Hospital. And that hospital, I have documentation in here, people, where it specifically states they like to give old people shock therapy so that they can forget their family members, so they can be shipped off someplace else. Because wherever they're being shipped off to, those people on the other end want the old person's money. I have that with another case in terms of the information getting out there. So Uncle John is not an isolated incident. I'm sorry, you don't go from the end of February to the 15th of July, less than 5 months, and lose all your memory. Unless something bad happened to you. I don't know where this particular video is, because I didn't put a date up here. So I went back onto the computer and I looked and I can't find it, but I'll find it. Because I'm pretty sure I did a video on this. Right? I just have to find it and then date it. Right? And then we're going to talk about this though, right? Because this was the health status. Probably, well, it would have either been this was after he was taken. You're not allowed to see the kids or Judy until you're better. That's what his sister was telling him. When the kids went in April to go cross the ferry, to go to that hospital, to go talk to him, and they were kicked out of there, people. As this woman was telling Uncle John that he wasn't allowed, let me remind you of that he wasn't allowed to see the kids until he was better. Only he never got better, people, because that wasn't the plan. Okay? Health status by Fraser Health and Nursing Profession, namely by sister, who is the registered nurse, who is a registered nurse, probably still working today within the system because she's senior staff, and used her position to medically kidnap John. There are specific sections within specific acts that are meant to prevent people from doing that. That is what the corporation, in terms of a health authority, Fraser Health Authority is supposed to be monitoring for. Not covering up for it or sending it to a different jurisdiction in terms of send it to the cops, let them fucking go looking for the dirt as we bury it over here. You know, cop will show up. Hey, well, you know, Miss Charney said, and this is what, you know, we want to see, and there's Andrew the Dragon. The cop will be like, oh, okay, I got your point. Yeah, no problem. And then they come back. No, sorry, Miss Charney. It is what it is. It was an accident. It was an accident, Miss Charney. Get over it. John did it to himself. Brain dead. They are not your grandchildren. So by the time they're done doing whatever they did with him in that short period of time, you could have considered him to be brain dead. Right? Because they convinced him that he had no grandchildren. He lost 35 years of his life, people. Gone out the door. It was all in the past. Their mission was to keep him alive long enough to get their hands on his money. Once they got it on the money, then they put him in an old folks home. Pretty much fucking left him there by himself, except for when Brother Mike would come by once a year to visit him. Right? Where the sisters would come by and do their little photo op. Right? But other than that, he sat there by himself, just wasting away. Until finally one day they decided, well, John, your time is up. It's one day before you went into the, Surrey Memorial Hospital with Fraser Health Authority. And, on this day you went in on what, the 13th? January 13th? Well, we're just going to pull the plug on January 12th so that when Miss Charney finds out that you died on January 12th of 2018, one day shy of going into the system, she'll get all spooked out. Oh, he died one day before he went into the fucking hospital and then disappeared. No, people, they pulled the fucking plug. That's what they did. They turned off the fucking water in terms of the IV. I seen it happen to Joan. Joan goes into long-term care. December of 2012. Right? Gets there January of 2013, doctor comes in. Oh, well, Miss Duncan, this is how it's gonna roll. Mark my words, people. You'll be alive until December of this year. That's when you're gonna die. Joan phoned up John. Said, John, doctor said I got a year. I'm gonna die in December. I'm not shitting you, people. And guess what? Joan died December 14th. Of 2013, the fucking year end, like the doctor said. And you want to know how it happened? I can tell you how it happened, people. I can tell you how it happened, people. I'm putting both fucking videos up there. As I was taking Uncle John back and forth every day to see Auntie Joan as she was laying there, wasting away. Every day, fourth day. By the fourth day, pretty much when she fucking died, I looked at the freaking IV machine, people, and I swear, I can't prove it, but I swear, it didn't move. The drip, the water bag, nothing moved. It was the same IV bag that had been hanging there for 3 or 4 days. But by then it was too late. And John and I, we walked in, and all she did, people, was beg for water. Now, I don't like Auntie Joan. Anyone that watches my videos, my kids love her. Mission accomplished. Uncle John was happy. That's all that mattered to me, was Uncle John was happy. Auntie Joan got to be an auntie for a little while, and a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. Didn't mean I had to like her, because I didn't, because she was a real troublemaker. But let me tell you something, people. She didn't deserve that fucking shit. Okay? I can't prove it, but I witnessed it. And you know what they did the next fucking day after her body was dead? Well, obviously the Duncan clan came and picked it up. Well, they shipped it over. And got into her will with her superannuation life insurance policy over here, that life insurance policy over there, that life insurance policy over there, because Joan was a chronic, I'm going to die every day. So I'm sure she had more than one life insurance policy. And the freaking care facility phoned up John and me and said, come get her stuff now. And we're like, well, hold on a minute. She just died yesterday. Can you, like, give us a minute? Oh, no. It's, come now. You have to come tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So we go there. They had packed up her shit, people. Because they knew what the fuck they were doing. All these fucking workers that come in from overseas and then senior staff running around, they know what the fuck they're doing. So for Uncle John to die on January 12th of 2018, 3 years shy of 1 day from when he went into the healthcare system, well, we know why. It was not a coincidence. It was to spook me. But I'm not spooked, people. I'm not spooked. Okay? Because I know how these people roll. My son said to me, you know, Mom, you're always on combat mode. Right? You're fighting all the time. You know? You're looking kind of rough around the gills, right? In other words, take some time to make yourself look nice. Right? Versus, getting my boxing gloves on all the time. Well, you know what, people? It is what it is. And this is why we're going to do it this way. Because it starts to pile up in terms of the paperwork. And that's another method of attack from their side. They overwhelm you with all the fucking paperwork, and when you go in with it, they ignore it. And then they bring in unrelated paperwork that has nothing to do with you, and they use that as a means to throw out something, when in fact, the health authority should have been on the fucking ball from the first place. So no regrets filing this notice of claim. None, people. Because the corporation needs to be held accountable for their employees. That's why they're there. Right. I know this one is still recording, but for some reason this one shut itself off. I'm hoping it was recording. That's why we've got this one. So that we don't lose the message here. Sound sensitive. Okay, we're going to try this again. And we're going to turn it on. Currently, I like the old camcorders versus this, but this is more like a camera. So it says record right there. You can see it. There's a little red dot in there somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to put this back. It doesn't record for a long period of time because it cut itself off. It just turned off for whatever reason. So I'm going to keep talking in this one, okay? Because that's the point, is to try and work with this one. So I don't have to rely on this one anymore. So anyway, let's just get to this. I will find the specific date for this, and I'm going to take it to paper, write it on paper, wipe this out, put more paper there, and then we're just going to add to the plan. That's what we're doing, okay? We're gathering up our ammunition. That's what we're doing here, people. We can't take it to the streets with sticks and stones and break my bones. We got to do it this way, right? This is the only way. Unless, of course, you want to be shot by fucking 15 cops for standing up for yourself in terms of, I'm a maniac and I want justice. Okay, so health status. We know John's health status, not doing very good. So this was either in 15, 16, or 17. I went back into the videos. I couldn't find it, but I will find it, and then I'll date it. Okay? But this must have been sometime soon after the kids got back from seeing Uncle John, because they are not your grandchildren. We've got that on video, right? You're not allowed to see the kids or Judy until you're better. We got that on video, and that was in April of 2015. Right? So, John went into the hospital thinking we were doing the right thing because I didn't want him to sleep for a week and get dehydrated on me and then die because of the flu that was going around in fucking Surrey and people were dying off like flies out here that year. Right? And because I had gotten it and everybody else had gotten it, Uncle John was the last person to get it. And he got delirium from having ammonia in his lungs because he was 76 years old. And apparently old people that get lung infections, it is common for them to develop a little bit of delirium. So I didn't know what it was, though. I just said, gee, John, you're getting kind of loopy here. You know, maybe you need to go to the hospital because God forbid if you fall asleep and you don't want to wake up like me when I went to sleep for a week because of this flu. It's not that I'm afraid now he's going to get sleepy. Anyway, so he went to the hospital January 13th. He died on January 12th. 3 years. Shy 1 day. Coincidence, eh? No, I don't think so. So anyway, January, February, March, April. So that's 3 months just from this little part here. Okay? Maybe up until July. When I called him and he said, I can't remember anything. I've been injured. I've been sick for 3 months. I can't remember anything. And then the phone was taken away from him. In July. That was in July. So this is anywhere between 3 to 5 months. This is our health status in terms of my family. Tisha, depressed, only partial dental care, can't afford fees for wisdom teeth. Because, you see, that's the thing. This is what makes me think it was in 15. Because John and I, over the years, we lived with each other for 23 years, right? We budgeted a house, we took in Joan, we looked after Joan, whatever. We would sit and discuss future plans and budget around those plans, whether it was around the car, whether it was around perhaps moving to another location in terms of a different home, whether it was, let's do dental. Well, no, everybody's going to go this year. So when 2015 came, everybody was supposed to go for their dentistry. Tisha, Shimei, Uncle John, Sierra, Andre, me, everybody, right? Because we had taken care of the car prior. Right? And don't forget, we took on the debt load with Joan. Right? We took on more expenses because of Joan. And then Joan went into the care facility and we were left with those expenses. Shimei, depressed, aged out, only had partial dental care, none now. Marcaine, depressed, aged out. Sierra, depressed, aged out, mentally ill without adequate health services of any kind. Became a junkie on December 21st, 2012. Has severe lung problems, tooth decay, and mental handicaps. Brooks, depressed, aged out, suffers from alcoholism. Judy, depressed, losing eyesight. Well, that sounds familiar now, doesn't it? Only partial dental care, but can't afford user fees or specialist fees, so I went like 6 years without any dentistry. Lives with tooth pain that is spreading for the last 6 years. Well, you know what? I actually came across a dentist that was a pretty good guy. He didn't run the shit. He didn't try and be, corrupt. I went in, I said, look, pull these teeth now. I can't stand it anymore. He ended up filling in the gaps, and the pain has pretty much went away. So what those other dentists were doing by sending me to a specialist and all these other things, I don't know, people. I went in for 1 or 2 visits. He filled the teeth in, made the gaps closer together, and it took care of the pain part of it. So that's gone. But I lived with it for over 6 years, 7, 8 years. Because this is 6 years, this would have been 15, and he just did it last year. So I had 3 more years. That's freaking 8, 9 years. This one hasn't gone away. This one's gotten worse. Constant loud ringing in ears that result in fatigue. That one's getting really bad. Regular being cut off of welfare. Well, not lately, but it was back then. It was like this, up and down, up and down. They had me doing this and had me cutting me off here and doing whatever, right? That result in regular being cut off of welfare via child support payments. In those days, you'd get child support. If you got child support, they'd take it exactly right off the dollar from your social services, right? So it puts you in the hole. Or in the case of 2003, legislation that attacks single poor parents, namely mothers with children. Andre still struggles with attachment issues, accepting boundaries, and misses Uncle John. And misses Uncle John. Now he misses Auntie Shimei and Uncle John. BC Liberal Government Family Day. Christy Clark, let's see. Again, I can only assume that you can see that. I need a little mirror back there. And why this camera, it shows me nowhere that it's on, except for behind the screen. I like these flip cameras better. So for now, right, because this is all coming off, we're going to be putting up new paperwork. But before we do that, we're going to touch base. I don't have a date up here either, so I don't know when I used this. I remember using it, but I don't remember using it in terms of the exact date, so I have to go hunt for the video. Obviously, I didn't finish, right, because, you know, I'm busy. All you have to do is go look at my videos. Anyway, BC Liberal Government, Christy Clark, AAA credit rating. That was probably in 2000 and, I don't know, 15, 16, right? When did the BC Liberal Government get into power? Or BC, and the NDP, when was that? 17? 18? Anyway, gave themselves an increase in wages and benefit packages. See, this is where you have to put down dates, people. If you're going to do stuff like this, make sure you put a little date there, because it will help to trigger your memory. And if you've got the documentation, it will be easier to locate it in your paperwork. Right? This is just general information, though. This was what was going on in the province. Forced thousands into homelessness as houses sit empty and can't afford rent even if they find a place to live. This was a couple, 2-3 years ago. If it was bad then, it's even worse now. Offloading healthcare to private offshore companies with immigrant workforce and poor human rights record. Because some sort of something, okay, now politics would dictate that the new Democrat Party, right, would be more supportive of the union sector being involved in terms of a public healthcare system, where the BC Liberal governments, which would be the equivalent of, say, like a Republican Party as a general rule in the United States, would be like, well, no, we need to privatize it. So with the BC Liberal government being in power for 16 years, what they did is they created a lot of problems, right? And through those problems, they started to privatize the healthcare system, right? Marketing the old folks' homes. But the thing is, what's the point of marketing an old folks' home if you don't have the demand part of easily accessible? Because the old people just want to stay in their own homes versus going into these old oak folk homes, right? So, you know, well, we know about medical kidnappings. Again, I've got other information in here that can verify the illegal detainment of the elderly throughout the province. Maybe not 100%, but even 1% is too much. Okay? So with this is important to understand, because this is a systemic problem that is not only happening in BC, but it's happening all across the continent. It's happening in the United States of America. I can't speak for Mexico, but I know it's happening in Canada. And what it is, people, is that you've got the government offloading public sector services onto the private sector, right? And then what remaining public service sectors are still in operation on a governmental level in terms of a state or a province. What these governments have done, I'm not saying all governments, but what these particular governments, state and provincial governments have done, or are continuing to do is they are importing a mosh podge of immigrant workers from every country under the sun, where a large majority of them people, I'm telling you, they cannot speak English correctly, but yet they are the decision makers as to where your loved ones are gonna go. They can't even communicate to you correctly, but they are the ones that are saying, no, Uncle John can't come home. And they're on a work visa. As the healthcare system is being privatized through politics, so that there's cost-saving measures in terms of what a government is obligated to pay its workers in terms of their wages, their benefit packages, their dental and health care plans, their disability. Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Now this is moved too. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I guess it only runs for so long. And that's why we're experimenting here. So obviously this camera's not doing very good for me. This one's still running. Okay? Because I completely forgot what I was talking about. I had it on my mind, but as soon as I got sidetracked talking about this camera, it's out the door. Government trying to save money, right? In terms of they have their existing union, right? It's not like the good old days when Uncle John was a janitor hanging over the premier's desk with a cigarette, smoking, wiping things down. Because he could walk through the whole freaking Parliament building with a cigarette hanging in his mouth, smoking if he wanted to, while at work. And he worked for 25 years in the Parliament buildings, the Lieutenant Governor's house, everything, people. But it's not like that anymore, because the BC Liberal government came in and the union busted, because what's happening is the government doesn't have enough money to pay out all these baby boomers and their pension plans and benefit packages and life insurance policies and disability packages and all this other fucking shit that these people get on top of the young'uns coming in on the block. So they union busted. They got rid of the union within the kitchen sector, within the hospitals and the cleaning staff and the cleaning, the janitors in the schools, and they just watered them down to, well, we'll just have you come in under a visa for this length of time so that when you fucking leave, we don't have to pay out all these benefit packages that we're paying this senior nurse over here because she's more important. That's why she got away with what she got away with, people. Because she's more important. Because she's a senior nurse within the union fucking public sector. 40 years. That's why they're doing this. That's why they're doing this. This right here. So that the union, the senior union staff, can run the mules. Grunt workers, whatever you want to fucking call them, it doesn't matter. You be a whistleblower. You stand up and say, hold on a minute. Uncle John has a family. This doesn't seem right. You go to your fucking boss and say, look, something bad's going on. The boss comes back and said, look it, baby. You open your mouth. That's it. You're being shipped back. You're going to lose your job. Even though you've already lost all your benefit packages because you're just a cleaning staff. You're just somebody, a nurse's aide that just goes in there and changes diapers. Right? You're not like that upper union that gets all those benefit packages, so you're expendable. With 85 to 90% of them being imported from various countries where 75% can't read or write or speak English correctly. But yet they're the ones making the decisions for your loved one based on what that senior staff said and what the health authority isn't doing. Because it is the health authority's responsibility to make sure that they don't have criminal activity going on within their fucking hallways. And they don't want to do it, people. And it gets worse than that, because we haven't even gotten into Shamay's story. This is just a recap just to see if I can even upload this. Okay? Banksters. CIBC Bank. It's a good thing that guy that represents CIBC Bank, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Not like Andrew the Dragon. Right? So, I guess he gets a safe base. But his corporation isn't out of the fucking woods yet either, people. Personally, I want Uncle John's case with the bank and the health authority to be in court together so that we don't waste the court's time. Last time I requested it, it was denied. I'm going to request it again. Overinflated house sales. That's a given. Thousands of houses empty after being bought. Probably still happening. Old people being forced to sell homes after being medically kidnapped by the health authorities. There was 5 people. I still have remaining freaking children that can be witness to that were being illegally detained and forced to sell their homes so they could be put into an old folks home by somebody who couldn't fucking speak English. Well, the senior staff is running around like this. Yep. That one over there, that's the one we want. Go get him, girls. It's just a story, people. That's all it is. A fantasy. I live a fucking fantasy. Homeless on the rise as more drugs are brought into the province to prop up the system so people don't fight back. Because the ones that can fight back are too busy beating up, abusing, criminalizing, attacking, doing whatever they else do, slandering their character, and all this other crap, to cover up the illegal activity in terms of the drugs that go through this province. They're not, Sierra is bringing drugs into this province. It's people like Sierra that brings in fucking tons of drugs into this province to have that problem. Because she's the only one who gets reprimanded for it. Because she's the one that's sick. She's the one who can't fight back. She's the one who doesn't have the gold ring on her finger and driving the fucking whatever the fuck they're driving. Okay? That's like bringing cocaine into the inner city in the 80s and introducing it to the black culture, black Americans, right? And dropping off guns in cases with an open truck with the door open in the hood, and little kids walk by and, hey, what's there? And then find out it's a stockpile of fucking guns with bullets in it. Who do you think brought that in? Those kids? No, people. They didn't bring that in. They didn't bring it in any more than they brought in the cocaine. Any more than them bringing in the fentanyl. That's now getting out into every single corner of this continent. Well, the cops stand there and say, well, it was an accident. It was an accident that it got here. Not by design. It was pure accident. Provides kickbacks to the white-collar criminal activity to continue the money train. Household politics, U.S. I never did follow through on it, right? Obviously got distracted probably with the yard. Right? Because you know what happens there, right? So, I'm going to end it on this. Because that's all I wanted to do. For now. I just wanted to see if this works. See if I can upload it onto my computer and convert it over. If not, I've got this as a backup. but I'm going to upload them both if this one works. I just wanted to show you that I'm getting ready, people. So I'm going to write this on to another sheet of paper, and then I'm going to draw down, and I'm going to do an update on this, people. I'm going to find the date on this, and then I'm going to update our health status. And I want you, well, for the ones that care, care is a loose word on YouTube, right? But, it's like my son said, I'm always on the fight. He has his own way to say it. I'll write it down next time he says it. And it's true. Not because I want to fight people, but because this is what's been happening to my family. And if I don't fight, well, what's going to happen? Right? There's going to be a whole lot of other people like us. Like me. Right? So this here, before I go, are little harmonicas that I found. They're brand new. They haven't been used. Right? To send somewhere down south. I tried to find a person. I just kind of chatted with somebody briefly about sending this to, the Mexican border and then having them give it to the kids. But she said that trying to send anything to Mexico is kind of impossible for whatever reason. So I'm not even going to stress myself. I've already started to pack the box. I kind of feel bad that I have nowhere to send it to. But I'm going to continue packing the box. And through my travels, once it's packed, I don't know how long it will take because I'm being specific about the things that I put in it, right? So 2 of those. I'll put in some marbles. I won't put the jar in, but I'll put the marbles in. Kids can play marbles. I got some little cards there. You'll see. I'll show you another day. And, it's just one day at a time right now. So this is my still recording. Remember that, people? It's like Uncle John would say. Okay, how you do it this way? Oh my God. I'm trying to turn this. It won't turn. I don't know how to use this. I really don't, people. I can't turn it. I don't want to, oh, here we go. I don't want to be rough with it, right? This is like Uncle John would say. Good old days. Let's see if we can read the good old days. This is what I have to go back to school for. It's a refresher course. Remember that? You're still sitting here. Like I said, I never abandoned Uncle John. Nope. This is just some of them, people. I don't know what's here. Mental health, power of attorney, home community care policy. What is it? The movie rendering has been stopped automatically. Okay, I don't know about this camera. Why would it do that, people? This thing does what it wants. So I'm not going to turn it off because it's doing something. But that's the point. We're going to learn how to use this camera. Oh my God, now it turned itself off. Do you see that? You heard it. Anyway. I'll take this one. No, I'm almost done. Just in case none of that goes up. This is what I was talking about. We're back to the old faithful. Alright. You can see. This one's court cases. Self-represent litigation. Something's in there. FRA. CFDSA. I don't know. Can't see. Child, family, community. Chapter 3, family law. The children's right to life or something. Mental health act. Mental health regulations. Guide to mental health act. Constitution. Power of attorney. Future duty. so on and so on. Home community care facility, home health services, housing and health services, residential care services, glossary, Hospital Act, Medicare Protection Act, and Continuing Care Act. That's just some of them, people. All right, there's more over there. Do you see? Anyway, it does not look like things have improved.